welcome back to Sego Codes. Happy New Year and a prosperous one. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build your first Express API or backend code. Express is a Node framework that will make it easy for you to build backend APIs faster using Node.js. Whereas Node.js is just a runtime environment that allows you to run JavaScript code on the server side. Or before, you can only write JavaScript for the front end or for the browser, and it was not supported for the backend. But with the advent of Node.js, it allows you to write backend code using JavaScript. It's actually built on the V8 engine, something of the sort. So anytime I want to build an Express app, there are prerequisites that you need to have. You must be having a basic understanding of JavaScript. Then you need to have Node.js installed on your machine. You need to also have npm, that is the Node Package Manager, installed on your machine. You also need, at times you might need to have the Node Version Manager installed on your machine too. So the Node Version Manager will help you to run various versions of Node. For example, you can be having a project that you want to clone from GitHub, and you want to run it locally on your machine. So in your machine, you might have Node version 20 installed, but the project uses Node version 16. So having Node version manager allows you to have different versions of Node installed on your computer. So once you have Node installed on your computer, and also you have npm installed, the next thing that you need to know is that there are packages that you will install that they're the essentials that you must have in your project when building. So you will need Express, you will need Body Parser, you will need Node Monitor, or what we call the Node Daemon. You will need Morgan. Basically, that's what you need for your first API. So this is what I'm going to show in this video. So join me. It's simple. We want to build a database. Simply want to see our server running on a certain port, and that's it.
Okay, now welcome back guys. So create a folder where you'll be building a project. So for mine, I will create a folder on documents on this folder called playground. So I'll create a folder, a subfolder actually. So let me just use my bash here. So I'm gonna create a folder here, make directory, then let me call the folder Express, or let's call it simple Express app. Then cd into that directory or that folder, simple direct app. Then type code space period to fire up Visual Studio Code inside that folder. Press enter. Now once Visual Studio Code is up, press Ctrl and backtick. Backtick is the key that is just below the escape key to open the terminal. So once we have our terminal open, we will now initialize our Node project. Awesome. Now once our Visual Studio Code is open and running and you open the terminal, so it's time to initialize our Node project by typing npm init flag y to actually skip all those prompts question that asks you the name of the project, the repository name, the author, the keywords, and blah. So press enter. So it will create for us a packaged JSON file inside this repository. So once we have it here, now in this file is where all our project dependencies will be listed. For example, I mentioned we'll be using Express, we will use Node Daemon, we will use .env, we will use Morgan in this project. Now, like I mentioned, for us to install those packages, you go to npm or on a terminal and type npm install. First we have Express, 2 we have Body Parser, Parser. We had Node Monitor, we have dot env, we have Morgan. Now press enter. Now this will create a new directory in our file structure called node modules. That is where all those packages will be installed. So give it time to finish or to install all those packages. Once they are installed, our package.json file will be updated with all those packages listed here. Now we have everything installed. You can see the file is now updated. The package.json file is updated. We have body parser.env, express, Morgan, nodemon. So body parser will enable us to handle our data in JSON format. .env will allow us to work with environmental variables or key sensitive data like API keys or the ports or database URLs. Express is the framework because we are building an Express app. Morgan will log our requests on the console. Nodemon will watch our code for any changes and reset the server. What we want to do next is to create an empty file, name it index.js. Now first thing first, import the Express into your app. Now just type import Express from Express. Then have a variable app, const app, and call the Express here. Then now we've initialized our app. Now this app must listen to a particular port. Now let's have app.listen, let's say port 4000, then provide a callback function that will tell us if the server is up and running, and you can log something to the console. Let's say server is running on port 4000. I'm actually statically typing everything there. Also, we need an endpoint to confirm to us that we're actually getting a response from our server. So app.get, sending a get request to the home root, then passing a callback function. Let's say we want to send back some text from the server. Response.send, then let's say hello, this is a message from the server. Now basically what happens here is that when we hit this root, that is the home root, sorry, should be respond, then provide the parameters request response. Yeah, so basically this simply means that we're sending a get request to our server, and if we hit the home root, we will get back a response from the server saying hello, this is a message from server. So this is the endpoint that we are hitting, and this is the callback function. This is a function that will handle what to expect from the server. Now once you have that up and running, come back. Now we can actually run it at this point, but before we run it, also first remember we said we will be using body parser because our server only handles JSON. I mean the Express server should only handle JSON formatted data, so that's why we will import the body parser. So import body parser from body parser, then import Morgan from Morgan. This will help log the request that you are making on our console. Then the body parser and Morgan, these are all middlewares. So just below the app, comment and say here we have comment and say we have middlewares here. So our app should use body parser.json, also app use morgan.dev. Exactly. Once you have that, I think our app is ready to be tested. So to run this API or this app, simply on a console type node, then the name of the file is index.js, press enter. Now we have a problem here, a warning. To load an ES module, set type module in the package of JSON, or use the .mjs extension. Okay, fine. This basically means that the moment you see any import statement in an Express app, it means you are using the ES6 syntax, which is the module. And for you to use that, you have to come to your package.json file and update the file by specifying the type to module. So when I come back and restart the server, you see server running on port 4000. Now our port is 4000. Now let's go back and see port 4000. Now open your browser, then type localhost 4000, the root, or you can just mount it. It's actually the same thing. Press enter. What do we have? Check here. We have hello is the message from the server. If you check back what we defined in our root endpoint, it will send back a message which says hello, this is a message from the server. Now that is it. Now usually when developing, or normally when developing, sensitive data such as the port or any URLs or API keys should not be typed statically on your code base. Instead, they should be in an environmental file which we call the .env file. So come back to your file structure here, and on the root directory add a new file and name it .env. Then now provide the port variable, and let's say it's 4000. Come back to your index.js file and import the .env we had installed, .env from .env. Then configure it by saying .env.config. Then initialize the port here. Now say const port is equal to process.env.port. Simply like that. Now instead of manually typing the port number here, we're now using that variable named port. And here we can now change it back to string templates by using backtick. And instead of 4000, we want to pass the variable by typing $, open the brackets, then port or sum. Now let's stop the server again and restart. Actually, to stop the server, just press Ctrl+C, then press enter. Server running on port 4000. You can see it's the same. Now if we come back and change the port number to something like 5000 and make any change here, let's say hello, you will see that it's stop the server again, run it again, port is 5000. It reflects what you have on the .environmental file. Now the next thing that we want to actually now work on is we want to actually have NodeMon monitoring any changes on our server and starting the server again without us having to actually stop it and restart manually. So you see here on our package.json, remember we installed this NodeMon here. Now we want to have a script. This script is called start script, and start script should use NodeMon pointed to the empty file which is index.js. Now instead of always typing, let's stop this one first, Ctrl+C. Instead of typing node.index.js, we now write or we run npm run start. Awesome. You can see now we have NodeMon version 3.0.2 watching paths and watching all the extensions that are JS, MJS, CJS, or JSON. You can see server running on port 5000. Now let's make a change. Let me come back to the index file here and say server is running on port and is not connected to DB. Let's check the terminal. You see what happens? NodeMon will monitor the changes, run it again. Now you can see we have the new message, server is running on port 5000 and it's not connected to the DB. So basically that's how you can build your simple Express server. Simply install Express, install body parser, install Morgan, install .env. Actually, I haven't shown you how to use Morgan. Now Morgan, once you pass it as the middleware here, upload to use Morgan, then pass the parameter dev there. So anytime you access or send a request to the server, it will log the request here. For example, I want to send again. Remember now we are using port 5000. set 5000. Press enter. Hello, this is the message from the server. Now let's check our terminal. You can see we sent a GET request and the status code that was returned is 200, which means okay. Our response is okay. You can see the GET request. Also, it sent a GET request to fetch the favicon, which it didn't find. So yeah, it also shows you the time of the delay. Like this one was 40 milliseconds, this one was 50 milliseconds to fetch it. So that is how simple it is. Install the Express app, no, install the Express package, body parser, morgan.env, which will be here in the project dependencies. Once you have it there, write your script to start the server, which is start, then nodemon index.js. And if you're going to use the modules JavaScript, you have to specify that here by typing type, then module as the value. Coming to your index file, import the Express, import body parser, import morgan, import.env. Once you have it there, remember you have to initialize the Express app. Say const app equals to Express. You have to provide the parentheses because we're actually executing it. Once the app is initialized, remember the app has to listen to a port. App will listen to the port, then a callback function which tells us whether the server is up and running. That's why we console log server is running on port 5000 and it's not connected to DB. Now for sensitive data like the ports, database URLs, like the port, database URLs and any other sensitive data, avoid typing them manually on the file. Instead, have them stored on the .env file. For example, here we have our port equals 5000. Now to access these variables, come to index.js file and remember to import the .env and configure it. .env.config. Then now initialize the port again, const port equals to process environment variable, then the port itself. Now instead of actually typing now manually the port here, you pass the variable. Whenever you make any change, it will reflect automatically. Then lastly, remember to always use nodemon to watch for changes in your code to save you from stopping and restarting your server every time and again you add a change to your code. Thank you for watching.
So thanks for watching this video until the end. If you like the content, kindly leave me a like, press the subscription button, share with your friends,